And then yesterday, Brian Windhorst dropped the truth bomb on him where he essentially said that, look, no team is interested in signing for LeBron. I'm sorry to break it to you. There are no teams.
The Lakers just gave Austin Reaves a massive $185 million max contract. LeBron James? Still nothing. No extension, no serious offer, not even a meaningful call. Then ESPN's Brian Windhorst explained why, and the reality was hard to ignore. Around the league, teams aren't exactly rushing to invest superstar money in LeBron anymore. The basketball world is buzzing, and for the first time in years, his place at the top is being seriously questioned. So here's the big question. Are the Lakers disrespecting LeBron, or are they simply making the smartest business decision? Let me know what you think in the comments before we dive in.
Is in damage control mode right now. And the reason that these guys are scrambling as a network is because for the last few days, Stephen A. Smith has been up on TV talking about, oh, man, the Lakers need to make sure they sign LeBron James, man. They need to make sure they sign LeBron James, man, because, you know, they're not winning nothing with LeBron. Like I said, it's like, yo, dog, prior to this playoffs, LeBron's playoff record with the Lakers was 2-14 over the last 14, 2-12 over the last 14 playoff games. 2-12. But they were trying to make it seem like these guys were going to the finals every single year. No, it's been a disaster now for quite some time with him on the roster.
Let's start with what just happened. The Lakers gave Austin Reaves a 4-year, $185 million max contract. Not LeBron, Reaves. The undrafted guard from Oklahoma, who joined the Lakers in 2021, just signed the richest contract ever given to an undrafted player in NBA history. Meanwhile, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, now 41 years old and sharing the same locker room, is still waiting for his next deal. If that doesn't send a clear message, it's hard to imagine what would.
But then, of course, the news came out that Austin Reaves was extended by the Lakers for a 4-year, $185 million contract. And that's when the writing started to show up on the wall. Okay, yeah, maybe this franchise is moving on. So today, during an episode on First Take, it was Stephen A. Smith, I think Vince Goodell, and Kendrick Perkins. And they started panicking on the set. Oh my God! Why didn't they focus on LeBron? Even Stephen A. Even Kendrick Perkins. Why the Lakers got it wrong? They should have prioritized LeBron James before they prioritized Austin Reaves. And they just going into damage control mode, because a lot of these people were the same people talking about there was this big market out there for the guy. Like there were so many teams that were lining up to sign him. And then yesterday, Brian Windhorst dropped the truth bomb on him where he essentially said that, look, no team is interested in signing for LeBron. I'm sorry to break it.
The Lakers' priorities couldn't have been clearer. They looked at the roster, looked at LeBron, looked at Austin Reaves, and decided to secure the younger player first while leaving the veteran's future for later. As soon as the news broke, the TV debate exploded. First Take and other shows immediately questioned why the Lakers chose Reaves over LeBron. The same voices that once claimed LeBron controlled the franchise were now watching the organization move forward without making him the top priority. The numbers make the story even bigger. Reaves signed a 4-year, $185 million contract after declining his $14.9 million player option. He'll earn about $41.3 million in the first season alone. That's actually more than the reigning MVP is set to make next year. The undrafted guard will also have a player option for the 2029-30 season, giving him control over his future. On top of that, he became the first undrafted player in NBA history to land a contract worth this much.
Lakers signed Austin Reaves to a 4-year, $185 million max contract to keep him in LA and restrict him from becoming a free agent. So AR will stay in LA with Luka. But as for LeBron James, who is an unrestricted free agent, Shams Charania says there's been not much movement. Listen to this.
My understanding is there hasn't been an offer out to LeBron James yet as far as his free agency. We'll see how that develops over the next 4 or 5 days when free agency starts. But a lot of it is like, how much can we upgrade the roster and then potentially go back to LeBron? Or do you take care of LeBron first and then figure out any type of potential roster move?
All right, so no offer yet for LeBron James. Stephen A., is it at all concerning that the Lakers have yet to offer LeBron when they've already taken care of Austin Reaves?
Not at all. Not at all. The priority was to make sure you took care of Austin Reaves because he's got value around the league because of his youth. And as a result of that, you can sign him and deal with other stuff later. You still got...
So why did Austin Reaves land such a huge contract? One word explains everything: leverage. The Detroit Pistons were reportedly ready to make a serious offer after clearing cap space, leaving the Lakers with little choice but to match the market. According to Brian Windhorst, the Lakers were initially offering Reaves around $30 million per year. But once Detroit's interest became real, that number reportedly jumped to over $45 million annually in less than 24 hours. That's roughly a 50% increase in a single day. It's no surprise the photo of Reaves collapsing on the golf course after getting the call went viral. Most people would react the same way. That's the power of leverage. When another team wants you, your current team has to pay more or risk losing you. Keep that in mind, because this is where the conversation takes a much tougher turn for LeBron. Windhorst then asked the obvious follow-up question.
You got Luke Kennard, you got Jackson Hayes, you got these people along with LeBron James. You can exercise bird rights and keep those guys, you know that, so that's a reality. But most importantly, here's the thing that's not being said. LeBron James has graduated to a point in the NBA in his career where he could essentially choose where he wants to go for the most part. Like if LeBron James, it's a money issue where we're concerned in terms of us talking about how the Lakers ain't gonna give him $52 million and all of this other stuff. I got that part. But if LeBron James, money aside, sat up there and said, I want to be on your basketball team, who's telling him no? Anybody telling him no? I mean, you might have one or two teams that might say no, but for the most part, 95% of the league is going to be like, hell yeah, let's make this happen.
Then came the big question. Who is actually ready to offer LeBron James a massive contract? Brian Windhorst's answer was simple. Probably nobody. Teams would still love to have LeBron, but there doesn't appear to be a bidding war for him at superstar money. And when no other teams are driving up your value, your current team holds the advantage. As Windhorst explained, the Lakers are basically negotiating against themselves. That's the complete opposite of leverage. Instead of multiple teams competing for his signature, the Lakers have little pressure to increase their offer, putting them in the stronger negotiating position.
Especially if money is not a factor. With him, it could be respect. He understands the business of the NBA, but he's graduated to that point where essentially he can dictate what he wants to do. If he wants to stay in LA, they ain't telling him to go home. If he wants to depart and say, I want to go back to Cleveland, they ain't telling him no. If he called Pat Riley and said, listen, I want to come back and join Giannis and Bam in LA, you think Riley's going to tell him no? He ain't going to tell him no. So that's what we have to understand. It's not really concerning to me because it's LeBron and that is his reality. A reality, by the way, that he has earned.
So what did the Lakers really say without saying anything? Their silence spoke volumes. According to Shams Charania, there had been no meaningful contract talks with LeBron, even while teams across the league were busy re-signing their own free agents. Austin Reaves got his deal. LeBron got silence. Brian Windhorst called that unusual, and for good reason. For most of his career, LeBron wasn't just his team's top priority. He was the league's biggest free agent target. Now, the Lakers' focus is clearly on Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, with LeBron no longer at the center of their plans. The salary cap also plays a major role. LeBron's massive cap hold limits the Lakers' flexibility, while Reaves' much smaller cap hold allowed the team to make other moves before finalizing his contract. That's why the Lakers are expected to improve the roster first and return to LeBron afterward with whatever cap space remains. For a player who has always been the franchise's top priority, waiting until the end of the process is a dramatic change. And then there's the reality no one can ignore. LeBron is 41 years old. Very few front offices are willing to hand a player his age another max contract worth more than $50 million a season. That's less about disrespect and more about basic roster economics. Teams still have interest, but only at a price that makes financial sense. The Warriors have reportedly shown interest and could offer their mid-level exception, while Miami has also been mentioned as a possible destination, making both teams names to watch if LeBron explores his options. Cleveland remains a popular rumor, but unless the Cavaliers pull off a sign-and trade, they can only offer LeBron the veteran minimum. That highlights the biggest difference in this story. Interest doesn't equal a max contract. Rich Paul recently claimed that 10 to 12 teams were interested in LeBron, but months later, No major offers have surfaced. Teams may still want him, just not at superstar money. On ESPN, opinions were split. Stephen A. Smith wasn't concerned, while others pointed out that, for the first time in his career, LeBron no longer appears to be a team's top priority. Kendrick Perkins summed it up by saying the Lakers have clearly chosen Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves as their future. From a business standpoint, the Lakers' decision makes sense. Reaves is 27, improving every season, and gives the team long-term flexibility. A massive deal for a 41-year-old LeBron would be far harder to justify or move in the future. Reaves also earned this payday after betting on himself. He accepted a smaller contract years ago because of salary cap restrictions, then turned that gamble into a record-breaking $185 million deal. The Lakers' main focus is now building around Luka, with reports suggesting they want to use their cap space to add a high-level center. That leaves LeBron waiting while the front office explores other moves. With free agency approaching, the clock is ticking. If no agreement is reached soon, the chances of LeBron finishing his career somewhere else become much more realistic. Some analysts, including Gilbert Arenas, believe keeping Reaves alone won't turn the Lakers into contenders, while LeBron has said he's in no rush to decide his future. After several disappointing playoff exits, it's clear this roster needs more than just another LeBron contract to compete for a championship. What happens next could define the Lakers' future, and possibly the final chapter of LeBron James' legendary career. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Hoop Lab for more NBA news, analysis, and the biggest stories around the league.